It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe, joined as always by Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, another day here in the greater West Bloomfield area, and we had a really nice start to the week on Monday.
Yeah, man, we continuously rolling with the momentum through the week. Tyler, feeling good, feeling great. I got a lot of great things accomplished yesterday. I think we're looking forward to a great start to the week, man. What's going on?
Yeah, it's an exciting time in the greater West Bloomfield area, and look, we think we had a good start to our week. Nobody had a better start to their week than a couple of kids, Leon and Piper, in the West Bloomfield School District. Let's put this video up here, Calvin, if you can, Master Control. This is how they got to school on Monday, Kevin. A West Bloomfield Fire Department fire truck picked both Leon and Piper up from their homes in the fire truck, lights on, sirens on, and all of that. Picked them up, brought them over to school. This is them driving off from their home in West Bloomfield and heading off to the classroom. And they arrived in style at their elementary schools on Monday as a courtesy of the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation. This was part of a prize that their families had won through their casino night fundraiser. Here are the kids arriving at school, not on a bus, on a fire truck. The only ones in the back that got to get all strapped in with their firefighter friends, Dave and Kevin from the West Bloomfield Fire Department. And here they are coming off of the bus. Leon and Piper arriving at their school. Had a great time. Look at the smiles on those faces, Kevin. That is how you make a big entrance on a Monday.
Yep. That's what I was gonna say too, Tyler. Man, you are officially the man when you put. Hey, you know, this is just my Monday car right here. You know, I pull up with something different tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Man, that is live, bro. That's something that you're gonna remember for the rest of your life. Even your friends. Remember when you pulled up in school to that fire with the fire truck? Man, that was so cool. So, hey, congratulations to the kid that got to experience this. The kids, I should say.
Yeah, and it all went to a good cause. Also, we talked earlier on this week to Christina Ellison from the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation about all the different things that they do to support our kids in the classroom and outside of the classroom in their learning. And this was something that helped to contribute to that. Yeah, they got this cool opportunity, but their families, by making donations to the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation to participate in Casino Night, were able to win that prize and have a great experience for their kids. Here's a picture with firefighters Dave and Kevin along with Leon and Piper just before they left their bus stop for the day. I guess their fire truck stop for the day on the way to school. And here's Leon and Piper also in the back of the fire truck. There are plenty more pictures and videos from this incredible experience. I highly encourage you to take a look at them on the Facebook page of the West Bloomfield School District. That's facebook.com/West Bloomfield Schools. You can also learn more about the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield Ed Foundation as well. Kevin, a great way to start off the week for these kids in the West Bloomfield School District. And that's after a strong finish to last week for some more elementary school students, these kids in the early grades, but their counterparts in 5th grade and through middle school had some big competition in robotics late last week. Elementary school students in 5th grade and middle schoolers all the way through 8th grade. 2 teams competed in the Robo Parade at the Robo Fest World Championship late last Friday, creating parade floats. The theme, Down on the Farm. 19 teams in total competed in this competition. Of course, 2 from West Bloomfield. Only 9 of those teams were able to finish both of the judged parades, and 2 of those 9 teams were from right here in West Bloomfield and in the West Bloomfield School District. Give them a shout out on this post about this immense accomplishment for our robotics program. Again, on Facebook at West Bloomfield Schools. Kevin, these kids not only taking an interest in robotics and building these great machines and learning all these different things they need to learn in science, technology, engineering, arts, and the math, combining the 4 C's together, but doing that and putting forth some great competition against some of the other best of the best in robotics at their level across the state and the country.
That's essentially what it is, Tyler. It's about planting that seed early in the kids, exposing them to different things so that they can see where their interest really lies. Essentially, I remember, I mentioned it before that I was in academic games back in, middle school and whatnot. And, I used to like doing stuff like that, linguistics and words and math and things of that nature. Now I'm in communication. So I kind of end up finding my way in my lane through, early activities and things of that nature. So robotics, very, very interesting field, and it's the future too. So it's good that these kids are working with that early.
And they're getting these opportunities while they're in school in the West Bloomfield School District, interactive
That's a fact.
opportunities, hands-on opportunities to not only take these
Hmm.
concepts from class, but apply them to things that they can tangibly see in action. And also, they're doing this in teams, learning teamwork, learning communication, learning how to manage projects and work with other people in a way to all accomplish one singular goal, which is not only going to help them in school, but in life as well. Really cool stuff
Right.
from our friends in the
Right.
West Bloomfield School District. Kevin, this week we are also recognizing our first responders during 2024 National Police Week. This is a week that commemorates the service of our local police and public safety workers, and in particular,
Yeah.
recognizing those that have sacrificed their lives in the line of duty over the years here in West Bloomfield and beyond. Certainly, this is one of those weeks where here in West Bloomfield Township and in the greater West Bloomfield area, we think about fallen officer Sergeant Patrick O'Rourke, who lost his life in the line of duty in September of 2012. The West Bloomfield Police Department posting about National Police Week on their Facebook page with an image of a blue flower. And this blue flower you're seeing on your screen right now on civiccentertv.com. They said on their post, quote, "Blue flowers have long been used to symbolize trust and loyalty. As we begin National Police Week 2024, the West Bloomfield Police Department would like to express our commitment to the community while also remembering those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in the service of their duties," end quote. As you pass by your local police this week, not only in West Bloomfield, but in Keagle Harbor, in Sylvan Lake, in Orchard Lake Village, our Oakland County sheriffs, nearby communities. Look, if you're out and about, you see them where you're going for the week, and maybe it's at your elementary school or middle school or high school picking up your kids. You see them at the grocery store. Wherever you are around the community, give them a shout out, give them a thank you, go up and talk to them, get to know your local police, because that's where we build the community. And it's a great opportunity to thank them, not only for their service, Kevin, but for the service of their colleagues, those that they've known, and of course those that they have known and lost in the line of duty over the years.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something I've learned from my personal experience, right? Get to know the people in your community in general, man. It's never a bad thing. Yeah, we all want to be to ourselves, live our own lives, stay out of the way, mind our own business. I get it. But when you're living and working in a community with different people doing different things, it's only beneficial to get to know them in case you might need each other or whatever the case may be. And our first responders, our police more specifically, there's nobody we should get to know more than the people who are here to protect us, make sure we are safe in our communities in case we need anything. They're not always in uniform. Sometimes they are regular citizens and residents. So it's always good to know who they are outside of the uniform, even in the uniform. I want to thank all of our law enforcement officers here in the greater West Bloomfield area for everything that you all do. In National Police Week, you deserve all the recognition.
You can give them their thanks as well, and continue to recognize National Police Week with our West Bloomfield Police Department. Facebook.com/West Bloomfield PD. As we recognize our local police and other first responders as well in public safety during National Police Week, we also continue to recognize those that have served our country to provide us for the freedoms that we have and the communities that we have here in greater West Bloomfield each and every day, including our military, both active and retired, as well as all of our veterans. And here in Sylvan Lake, not only are they connecting through their friends, their family, and community to seek the needs that they need after their service, they're also connecting with each other. Our reporter and the newest member of our team, Peyton Skyver, has the story.
When it comes to veterans, it can be hard to try to find someone who shares the same experiences as they do. But the good people of Sylvan Lake are working hard to bring together a community of those who served. The monthly Veterans Coffee event took place right here at the grill off of Orchard Lake Road. It allowed veterans to come together to share a meal, share some memories, and form a tight-knit community.
So we've been together having meetings monthly for about 2 years. What we do here in Sylvan monthly is get together for coffee and camaraderie and talk to each other about different situations we may have encountered and how to navigate different organizations to get assistance. We try to hold it at different locations. Today we're at the Grill, but we've also been at Evolve, and we may be going to Dunkin' Donuts next month. And so we are happy to support different businesses within Sylvan Lake at the same time that we get together.
So, what does this event mean for you personally?
Well, as a veteran, it's nice to be able to connect with other veterans. I have a lot of friends here in different things that I do, but it's nice to reconnect with my own military past through and sharing that with veterans who have their own stories.
In the military, we talk about covering each other's backs, and that's true, whichever branch it might be. So it's good coming here and hearing some stories. You know, we all have our own story to tell. It's completely different, where you served, what you did. And the nice thing about it, you get to meet your neighbors, you know. Sylvan Lake and Kego Harbor is small communities, and you see the same people often, the same faces. But when you get together like this, you think, wow, this guy was in the military. So it's a bond.
The Veterans Administration is a big labyrinth organization, and there's, without knowing where to go, where to start, who to talk to, by having vets here who are experienced in dealing with that, it helps point the vets who haven't experienced it yet, when they want to go through that, where to start. So that's really the big thing.
Veterans are unique people. There's not a lot of vets, most vets are Vietnam vet like me. I'm 80 years old. I mean, we're dropping like flies, and you might not see these guys tomorrow. So it means a lot to keep in contact. You know, it's a brotherhood, and everybody's loyal to everybody, and it's just a good thing, because you got a backup. You know, you have to have a backup. When I was sick, I had people looking for me, taking care of me, and besides my family, with the vets. So it's very important to be part of a community.
These veteran coffee events will be held monthly at different locations, so be sure to check out the Spirit of Sylvan Facebook group for where and when the next event will be held. With Civic Center TV, I'm Peyton Skyver.
Big thank you to Peyton for going out and covering that story. Great thing that happens monthly out there in Sylvan Lake, Kevin, to support our veterans. We welcome Peyton to our team, an intern with Civic Center TV this summer. You'll see her all around town. She's from a pretty good place, I'd say, my alma mater, Michigan State University, over there in the J School. So she knows a few things or two about reporting. So as you see her out and about in the community, and other reporters like Kevin, Jake, and myself and others, come up to us. We love to meet new people in the community as well. But Kevin, getting back to it, this is a really cool thing they're doing in Sylvan Lake. These veteran meetups once a month, they build the community of veterans. And that happened to be Kelly Krause, who helps to organize those, was telling me earlier on over the weekend as we were arranging for that story on Monday, that this is the 24th month they've done this. So now this is 2 years in the making. It started just before Memorial Day back in 2022 and just grew into something that these veterans loved. And it's such a great way for them to connect with people that have had like experiences to them, both while serving and especially after serving, for not only resources and camaraderie, but someone to confide in that understands the experiences and maybe even some of the struggles that you're encountering after your service to our country.
You hit the nail on the head right there, Tyler. It's about building camaraderie with people who have similar experiences with you, and that's what makes a community. And you heard it right there. A lot of them, are happy that they're able to have someone outside of their family or friends, that they can depend on, who, like we said, have similar experiences. Not everyone can say that they've been to the military. Not everyone can say that they're a military vet. So it's important for them to share those like-minded thoughts and things that they've been through. So I can only honor and respect it. The people that fought for our country. Thank you again for those individuals, and I'm an advocate for those types of events to give them that safe space.
And again, you can find more information on Sylvan Lake events as you're seeing on your screen, sylvanlake.org. Or if you're on Facebook, I would highly encourage you to join the Spirit of Sylvan Facebook group, or Sylvan Lake What's Going On is another great group that also helps to provide information on the Sylvan Lake Veterans Coffee Meetup events. Not only are they inviting veterans from within the prettiest little city in the state of Michigan, but they also are very welcoming to veterans from our other three communities and outside the local area as well. And Kevin, not only is it great for them to get access to resources, but it's good for their mental health as well. That connection is something that's so key to our mental health as we recognize Mental Health Awareness Month in May.
Yes, Mental Health Awareness Month, very, very important. And mental health awareness just in general is very important. And joining the Splash Live right now to talk a little bit more about mental health and an actual upcoming event, we have a clinic director and psychotherapist for Ellie Mental Health in West Bloomfield and Novi. We have Susan Taylor joining the Splash Live, and I thank you for joining us. But starting off, can you give us a little information on your organization, how you help local residents address their mental health?
Ellie Mental Health in Novi and West Bloomfield. Our mission is really to eliminate stigma. We really want to make stigma a thing of the past, that, people can think about mental health and asking for help, just like we do anything else during the course of our day without giving it much thought. One of the things that I think is really important is that people reach out much quicker, much sooner, and there would be a lot less suffering as a result of that if they could do that every day.
I agree. And we've been hearing the phrase mental health a lot more in the recent, I'll probably say 10 years than I have in my entire life. So I feel like that alone is just letting us know everyone as a community, as a consensus, we're starting to be more aware of it and know that mental health is just important as our physical health also. So what are some ways people can kind of, gauge their mental health to see where they are, to see if maybe I should go talk to someone, or maybe I am good, or seek some resources? What advice would you give for that?
Well, our heads are attached to our bodies. So we're really thinking about whole person wellness, whole person health.
Correct.
One of the things that I think has been happening for a long time, which we are working on improving and changing, is to have people reach out and ask for help long before it gets to be where they are really, truly impaired. By impaired, I mean they struggle with taking care of their families, sleeping, taking care of themselves, problems working, having problems in their relationships, all those sorts of things. Kevin, when you think about the way to get help and to be independent, and people want to solve their own problems, the way to do that is to really ask for help long before it becomes such an issue that you are extremely impaired. I frequently use a story about, look, if you want to be independent and you don't either have a lawnmower or you don't know how to mow your lawn, you're going to get somebody to help you with that.
That's correct.
If you need groceries, you're either going to, if you can't do it yourself, you're going to get someone else to get groceries for you. Use the grocery services, all these sorts of things. We don't even think about that kind of stuff because we need it, and we, want to be able to live our lives to the fullest without even thinking about, gee, if I ask for help with groceries, what does that mean about me?
Right.
And that's what stigma does, Kevin, as you know,
It's a good
with
point.
mental health issues. Exactly. So I really think that don't wait. Don't wait to ask. You know yourself better than anyone. You're
Correct.
the expert on yourself. And you know when things are off, things are not working well for you, you're not feeling well, you may be having there's also a lot of physical symptoms with mental health issues. So listen to that and,
Correct.
reach out and see if there's something that's happening now that you can deal with, just like you would deal with getting groceries or getting
Right.
your lawn mowed or whatever the case may
Mhm.
be. You're going to suffer a lot less. And I don't know about you, but it's really sad and terrible to watch people suffer for so
Correct.
long.
Yeah, yeah, and it starts right there in the mental, like we said. Like even if it gets out to the physical, it starts there. So you have to really go to the root, and you have to go like at the beginning of when you start to see the signs. Like you said, you know yourself better than anyone else. So I completely agree. Joining us right now on the Splash Live, clinic director and psychotherapist Susan Taylor from the Ellie Mental Health in Novi and West Bloomfield. Great information about Mental Health Awareness Month in the month of May. We're talking about. I want to talk about your services at your establishment specifically, but before we get there, because that's when we're going to the professional help. But I know you mentioned trying to do everything ourselves, but when we're just trying to find just many ways to kind of cope with our mental health, maybe we don't want to go to the doctor every single day, every single moment. What are some little things that we can do in our daily lives to kind of help with that? I talk to myself a lot. People would think it's crazy. I call it thinking out loud. I literally have a segment that I do called thinking out loud. I like to just have my ideas expressed, and that helps me. Can you just please give some ideas, please?
Love that. I do that myself.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
think that's a fabulous coping strategy.
Mhm.
And if you don't want other people to hear you or be a part of the conversation, you can talk to yourself in the car
There you go. Exactly.
and with no one else in the car. You
Mhm.
can certainly do that. Um, think of coping strategies that help you. It's individual for most people. However, some general kinds of coping strategies, everyone says take time for yourself and things like that. Well, what does that mean specifically for you? Because
Mm,
I'm betting, Kevin, it's different for you than it would be for me and everyone
correct.
else.
Yeah.
So, coping strategies are really a very big deal in whatever it is that you're going through. You don't have to minimize the coping strategies that may work for one situation when you have a brand new situation.
Mm,
So sometimes people think, oh, that won't work for that. I say give that a try first, and then let's see
exactly.
what's happening at that time.
And
The
don't
other
knock it
thing,
until you try it. Yep. I'm sorry.
that's
Go ahead.
right. That's right. Don't knock it till you try it. I think the other really big thing is supports.
Mm,
We cannot minimize the importance of having supports in our lives, whether it's family, friends, all those sorts of things. And it doesn't mean you have to have 100 supports. It can be that one or two people that listen to you, that just hear you as you are, um, can help you with whatever your issue is, help you to think about it in a way. It's not just talking to yourself, it's talking with someone else who can listen to you, that really cares about you. That has a lot of meaning and really helps people get more grounded, feel like they can tackle this, whatever
yeah.
the case may be.
Yeah. No, no. Good, solid point. Someone you can confide in and just vent and rant to, with no judgment. Completely understand. Susan, thank you so much again for your time. Lastly, before we go, can you just give people some information about Ellie Mental Health, how they can reach out to you if they are interested in any of the resources that you provide?
Yes, we have therapists that work with everyone across the lifespan and every issue. You
Hmm.
can contact us easily. There's probably a number here below. I can't see it, but but uh, but you can certainly do that. You can reach out to me. You can even say you saw me on Splash. So
Hey.
there you go,
There we
and
go.
just start right there, and we'll
Mhm.
take it from there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again for your time. Susan Taylor, Clinic Director and Psychotherapist for the Ellie Mental Health in Novi and West Bloomfield, talking about Mental Health Awareness Month. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Kevin. It was a pleasure.
Yes, and thank you again, Susan, who joined us. Susan Taylor, Ellie Mental Health of Novi and West Bloomfield. Join the Splash Live. Talk a little bit more about mental health and Mental Health Month. Very important, Tyler, because like I said, trust me, a lot of us are hiding scars that we deal with on a daily or frequent basis with a smile on our face. So it's very important to take care of yourself before you try to do anything for others, because you can't pour from an empty cup, Tyler.
Yeah, and mental health, it's a very crucial part of our overall health, Kevin. That's something that Susan did make a really big point about in your discussion with her here today, is that when our mental health isn't in check, it affects the rest of our body. It affects the rest of our life. It cuts into every single corner. So, getting your head straight, so to speak, is more than just a mindset. It's understanding your traumas. It's understanding your triggers. It's understanding what sort of things in your life bring you to a place where maybe you're not at your best. And so those health resources are even more important in that, right? And, it's good for us to know what those resources are in our community, not only for our mental health, but for our overall health as well.
Correct. Health and wellness. Yes, May is Mental Health Month, but we always have to be aware and conscious of our health in general. And joining the Splash Live right now to talk about a health and wellness fair that is coming up in the month of June, we have Executive Director for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, Suzanne Levine, joining the Splash. Thank you so much for your time, Suzanne.
Thank you for having me join you today.
Absolutely. So we want to talk about this health and wellness fair that is coming up June 11th, 11 a.m., 2 p.m. Just talk a little bit more about it, what we are expecting. Is there registration that we have to do? Any costs associated, please?
Well, this is our 15th annual health and wellness event. It's a great event where the entire public is involved, and it's free to the public. We have a variety of different medical and health and wellness vendors that will be there. There is a cost for them to participate, but there are going to be all kinds of medical information, ways for people to increase their longevity, sustain their health, and also learn about all the different health and wellness options in our community, because we know that it's better to make sure that you have all the information at hand so you can make informed decisions about your health.
Correct. And why do you think resources, events, and information like that is specifically important for the residents of the Greater West Bloomfield area?
I don't think that people really take enough advantage of all the different fabulous medical and health and wellness facilities we have in our community. And the more informed you are, the better you are able to make decisions for yourself and for your family. Because we know that no matter how good you look, if you don't feel well, that's going to impact every aspect of your life. And so the whole point is to age well and to make sure that your family has all the information they need at hand to make these great, important decisions. I mean, there's nothing more important than your health other than your family. So, we're welcome the public. There'll be lots of free swag, which we know people love. There's all other options there. I know Drip IV is going to be there, so there'll be like free B12 shots. Maybe you can, I don't know how you do all you do without boost energy.
Yep.
Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital will be there to answer questions. And we also have a lot of assisted living places, because we know that, taking care of our seniors is very important.
Right, correct. And that's what I want to get through. We do have a lot of seniors in our area, so we want to make sure we take care of them. Even the youth, even the people in between, the parent. It's good to know this type of information, having the opportunity to just be able to have a discussion about healthcare without having to go to the doctor or something like that. So,
and we know that our young, the sports injuries, and people have a lot of people, think that they can just exercise and do certain things, but everything you do now impacts your future, your joints. We're currently, we're at Letterman Portrait's Orthopedic Center. It's my wealth meeting, my wellness and health professionals. And so nothing is more important than keeping your joints well. We know that the pickleball is a big thing for the 40 to 50-year-olds, running, jogging, all the football, the people at the high school, all their sports. So keeping yourself healthy at a young age impacts how you age. So it's really important to have all the information to know maybe there's certain supplements you should be taking. Maybe you should be doing something proactively, exercise-wise.
Correct. Correct. Yep. And then this is the place to get that type of information. Ask those questions and start a little bit early just to be a little bit proactive. Joining us on the Splash Live right now, Executive Director for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, Suzanne Levine, talking about the Health and Wellness Fair, June 11th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. That will be free and available to the public. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, you have the word teamwork behind you. Let's talk
Right.
about the collaboration between the Chamber of Commerce and our local healthcare providers to kind of make this event possible. Can you just talk about the importance of that collaboration and how it came to be?
Oh, absolutely. Well, as you know, West Bloomfield uh, Hospital, Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital is the biggest employer in our neighborhood. And they are called upon all the time to help service our community. They're there to help with their doctors, and they have wellness programs. So they're an important supporter of our chamber and our community. West Bloomfield Parks and Rec, they're another really big community member, and we were so happy to honor them at our Michigan Week breakfast. Our library, all these people are great resources for information. And we have other people like Letterman Porchowitz. We have Grover Health, who was here with us today. We have our Home Care Affinity. These are all people that want to service our community and make sure that we stay healthy and vibrant. Because we know that this is what makes a community great. It's not just our resources, but our business community, and West Bloomfield Township has been a great supporter of our health fair. And that's where we're holding again this year. We're very appreciative for all their support.
Yeah, and it just goes into the type of support that they have for the community beyond the regular services that they provide. They actually put their time and their resources together and their staff to actually provide information free events like this, which I want to kind of make very important because or highlight, because the fact that it's free but still people have to pay, get paid to do their job to come there. So that's not anything to just let by the wayside. Suzanne, I want to thank you again for your time and for coming on today. Any last words, any additional information, key information to let the community know about this event before I let you go?
I'd like to ask everyone at my health, excuse me, everyone, you want to just quickly pop in and say hello to the Splash and make sure you watch? And yes, it's really important that we support our business community. It's really important that we understand that all our health and wellness, these are all health and wellness professionals that are here today to say hello. We have more that I get shy. But these are all the great people that work to make sure that our community stays healthy and wealthy and wise. And we love West Bloomfield, and I personally will do everything I can to make sure that our community stays vibrant. And thank you for all that you do too. I've been told that one of you will be at our health and wellness event to interview people and to show all the different great resources that our community provides.
Absolutely, Suzanne. We will be present for that. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for introducing or at least showing us some of the people that's making this possible. We appreciate it. Suzanne Levine, Executive Director for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, join us to talk about the Health and Wellness Fair going on June 11th. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have a better one, Suzanne. And Tyler, this is what we are here for. We are to be a resource for resources within the community. It makes me feel good to let you all know. Like I said, I see it as an opportunity for you to ask questions about your health and or health care without having to schedule an appointment to see a doctor. Great opportunity, Tyler.
Yeah, not only to learn about the resources and meet some of the people, but get some of your questions answered. Maybe you don't know where you should be turning for some of these questions you have about your health. Or as Suzanne mentioned, we're a bedroom community here in the greater West Bloomfield area, especially West Bloomfield Township, but also the cities of Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake Village, and Sylvan Lake. And so we're not only taking care of ourselves, we're taking care of our kids, we're taking care of our parents and our grandparents. And this is a great opportunity to get to know some of those resources that are available available in our community, ask a lot of those questions, get some answers, and start to piece together those puzzles of how to provide ourselves and our loved ones the best possible health care so that we can have long, vibrant lives right here in the greater West Bloomfield area. On another note, across the community, we'll be celebrating history as well in the coming months as Apple Island tours are coming back in Orchard Lake Village this summer through the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. The historic Apple Island, which has been part of our community for a number of years here as part of the West Bloomfield School District, is going to be having tours on Saturday, June 8th and Sunday, June 9th. You can get involved not only by going on the tours, but also by volunteering with the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. Joining us now is their Museum and Communications Assistant, Anna Smith, to help us learn more about these opportunities. Anna, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you back on as we get ready for these Apple Island tours, which are really an important part of exploring our history each and every year. We wait until the warmer months of the year so that the conditions are just perfect to go out there and explore this immense piece of history in our community. For those that may not be familiar with Apple Island, which sits out in the middle of Orchard Lake, what is the significance of this location to our local history?
Yeah, absolutely. Apple Island is something of a unique treasure. We call it the Jewel of Orchard Lake. But essentially, it's a 35-acre island out in the middle of Orchard Lake, formed probably around 10,000, 12,000 years ago. And it is rare for an inland body of water as small as Orchard Lake to have an island as big as Apple Island. We know that, it was inhabited by Native Americans as far back as 2,000 years ago. And then after that, when white settlers came to the area, there was a string of owners who inhabited and lived on the island. They would summer there on occasion, bring their friends and family along. And in addition, Apple Island had a lot of draw outside the area. People would come to see. There were a lot of legends spread about the island. Hotel owners in the area back in the early days of West Bloomfield Township settlement would sort of spread these legends and rumors, and this added to the allure of the island. And it really has this sort of mysterious air about it, especially given that it's been uninhabited by people for many decades now. It's been a woodland sanctuary owned by the school district since 1970. So really, Apple Island Tours is sort of the best way for people to be able to experience the island themselves and sort of see what's so alluring about it, what makes it have that draw.
That's a really interesting point, and a key point about Apple Island is that since the 70s, it has been owned and overseen by the West Bloomfield School District as a nature sanctuary. So people don't live on the island. People aren't frequenting the island on a regular basis as they have throughout history, both from white settlers and owners of the property on the island over the past century or so before the school district had taken ownership of Apple Island, but even going back into our indigenous populations that had even used Apple Island as a sort of meeting point between many of the different waterways in our local area. That's what makes this such an interesting place, because there's history on that island. There's bits and pieces of our history that we can see there. And so, what makes it so that people should want to go out to Apple Island and explore that? What's left of there that really makes this an interesting exploration for people in our community?
Yeah, absolutely. There is, first off, a lot of nature on the island now. It's uninhabited, so plants and flora that that have been able to flourish on the island that sometimes it's hard to see on the mainland. So you can go see that. As well as that, there actually are a few apple trees on the island now. They were planted back in 2018 by some second graders in the West Bloomfield School District, and I believe that there are a few that are still growing, trying to get strong. So those are a sight to see as well, because as you know, there weren't apple trees on the island for some time before those were planted. So that's a really great sight to see. But as well as that, we do still see evidence of the people, the settlers who lived on the island when they owned it. There are a lot of there's evidence left behind of cottages that used to be on the island. You can see where the foundation would have been. As well as that, you can see old wells that used to be used to, get water on the island. So there really is, you can see traces of the people that were there before. And I think it's something that's very important to see for people in the community to understand what life might have been like, both on the island, but also just, in a time period before where we are now.
Anna Smith is with us from the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society as they get ready for their Apple Island tours happening on Saturday, June 8th and Sunday, June 9th on Apple Island, all through the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. Learn more information on their website at gwbhs.org. And it's been a few years since these have happened. COVID-19 had an impact on, of course, getting people out there in close proximity. Then there were some other issues beyond that. So it's been a few years since we've had these tours. Now that they're coming back, how has the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society been preparing to not only bring these tours back in general, but to make them more immersive, more interesting as we go into this new era of these tours?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we really have been trying to get a good group of volunteers together. We have our great presenters, Miquan Donjul, Janot Pakour, as well as Mark Hook, who will be on the island sharing stories, things about their culture, as well as sort of updates and sort of a history of archaeology on the island and the various digs that have been done. So that's something I think that it's important to go on the tours because that's something that's so special. You get to see during the tours these fantastic presenters sharing stories and really sort of adding to the unique experience that you get on the island. In addition, we are trying to make registering for a tour easy for our members. So we're doing something new this year for 2024. GWBHS members will actually be able to register and purchase tickets for their tour spot in advance. You can find more information about that through our website. Individual level memberships can purchase one advance ticket, and every other membership level can purchase up to 6 tickets. So that's something that we're really excited about. It's our first time doing it, and we're hoping that our members take advantage of it. You can select the time that you want to depart for your tour. And yeah, we're hoping that this will be a trend that continues into the future.
And so as you're seeking volunteers, a lot of them are going to be members of the Historical Society that are already familiar with Apple Island and will be leading these tours. But other volunteers are also needed to help out in what is a pretty massive effort for the Historical Society doing these each summer. If there are volunteer opportunities available, how can people get involved?
Absolutely. Please contact us at the museum. You can email contact@gwbhs.org, or you can call the museum. It's 248-757-2451. You'll be in touch with me. I'll be coordinating the volunteers for this event. And yes, as you said, for such a popular and sort of large event as this, we do need a large team of volunteers as well. And even if you're not familiar with the island itself, we have plenty of positions available, both on the museum grounds, which will be open. The museum will be open. We'll be selling snacks and gift shop items, and there will be lots of activities going on at the museum, including you could wear a historical costume and, stand in front of our doctor's carriage and create a photo op for guests. We have our archaeology activities box. You can manage that and let kids dig around for various items. So really, it's an all hands on deck thing. And if you have never helped out with this event before, now is a great time to get involved as it's coming back for the first time in 5 years.
And as we get ready for these Apple Island tours, there's plenty that happens to help maintain the island outside of these tours throughout the year. We know that the Historical Society and the West Bloomfield School District are consistently in collaboration on Apple Island. Outside of these tours, what are some other ways that the Historical Society collaborates with the school district and with the community to maintain Apple Island and preserve this piece of history in our community throughout the year?
Yeah, absolutely. So the school district and the historical society as well do a great job of maintaining the trails on the island and making it so that it's safe when guests do arrive. We do collaborate with the school district, and we're bringing back the Apple Island visits for second grade classes this year. So that's going on through this month, and I know that they're very excited to get back out on the island. They've got a lot of activities planned, and it's great that the historical society can sort of facilitate that visit for them. And we're very thankful that we're able to have this partnership and make Apple Island available not just to the second graders but also to the public, because it is sort of Apple Island Tours is the one time a year that people really can go out to the island. So we're very thankful to the school district for allowing these tours to happen.
More information can be found on the Apple Island Tours happening on Saturday, June 8th and Sunday, June 9th on gwbhs.org. That's also the place you can go to learn more about getting in contact with the Historical Society for additional volunteer opportunities and more events all throughout the year. Anna, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Tyler.
Appreciate having you on. Again, gwbhs.org for more information. You can also follow them on their Facebook page and other social media at gwbhs as well. As we get ready to look into a grand piece of history in our community, Kevin, it's a great opportunity for people to explore Apple Island, get out there, see some history, see some nature, and get a little bit of a blast from the past. If you ever have walked around our community and wondered what would Greater West Bloomfield look like without the hustle and bustle of the suburban life and the bedroom community that we're in, that's a great place to look. But Kevin, as we also are preparing for our Apple Island tours and our health and wellness fairs and so much else going on around our community, people are constantly preparing their businesses for the future and for the present and their families as well. And that often takes a lot of paperwork, a lot of different hoops to jump through, and sometimes you need some assistance.
Absolutely, Tyler. And we just got through talking about Small Business Week, and May is Small Business Month also. So it's great to highlight new business laws, probate, power of attorneys in Michigan. So joining us on the Splash Live now to talk a little bit more about it, we have attorney for the Glick Law Firm, Eric Glick Esquire, joining the Splash Live. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Absolutely. So what we have here is basically a cluster of information when it comes to business laws, and we pretty much want to. There's a lot when it comes to probates and things of that nature. When it comes to assets, I should say. So essentially, can you just describe the role of estate planning and ensuring the effective management and distribution of assets, especially after like an individual's passing of sorts?
Yeah. So it's a good question because a lot of people talk about estate planning, and estate planning really is an umbrella term. So it really encompasses some documents, various documents for various objectives. Some documents are there for your protection during your lifetime. For example, we want to do medical powers of attorney, so someone can make medical treatment decisions if you can't. We want to do financial powers of attorney, so someone can help with financial affairs if you want or need help. And if you don't have those documents while you're competent to execute them, then someone's got to go to probate court to be appointed your guardian or your conservator. And it takes time and money, and the person going to court and being appointed may not be the person you would have chosen. And then, in terms of transitioning assets when you're gone, that's where wills or trusts come in. And with a will, we call a will instructions to a probate court. Sometimes people can get by with just a will, but sometimes people want to avoid probate court. They want to control where their things go, make sure they go to places at the right time. Like, for example, my trust provides that my children, when my wife are gone, get a third of their inheritance at age 25, and a third at 30, and a third at 35. And there's provisions that they can have access before that, in the trustee's discretion. So to accomplish that, you need a trust. Even if you don't need a trust for that reason, it's still beneficial to avoid probate court. A trust allows you to avoid taxes, like capital gains taxes and gift taxes. It allows you to make sure things go to the right place at the right time, puts the right person in charge. It keeps stuff private. Because if you're in probate court, that's a public record. Anyone who wants to go to the probate court and look at your file can do that. So estate planning really encompasses using those documents, financial powers, medical powers, trusts, and wills, to accomplish the objectives that match your needs and your situation.
No, you spoke on the key points involved in it, and I'm glad you did a great overview of all of it, the asset protection and estate planning in general, and the different things, different methods, different documents that you can do to make sure that you are protecting your assets and you're making sure that they're going through the correct channels. They're going to the individuals and the estates and entities that you want them to go to, and that's very important, especially here in the greater West Bloomfield area, we have a lot of small business owners. So that's essentially what makes this community. A lot of small business owners coming together, thriving together, and things of that nature. And we do often have times where we have older business owners, and they may be in those type of positions where they want to protect their assets and make sure it goes to the right person. But let's talk about protecting your assets in the sense of from creditors and things of that nature. How does asset protection planning help individuals safeguard their asset from potential not predators, creditors, or just legal risks in general?
Right. Well, so, what you just mentioned is, estate planning for businesses is required too. We want to make sure businesses have a succession plan and go to the right place. So if it's a single owner business, maybe someone has a consulting business, or they're a plumber, an accountant, we can do something simple, like we can do an assignment of that business interest into a trust. If there's multiple partners, maybe we need to do buy-sell agreements and stock restriction agreements and things like that. In terms of asset protection, depending on what kind of business you have, say you own rental properties, you own some houses or apartment buildings or a strip mall, some investment properties. There's talk and there's discussion about how do you protect yourself from personal liability if something happens. Well, you can have insurance, make sure you've got good insurance covering the property. You can put the property into an LLC. If you have multiple properties, you can use multiple LLCs, or you can group properties among LLCs based on location. There's different things we can do. If you really want to be extreme about it, you can do asset protection trusts and family limited liability companies and things like that. Those sorts of things need to be examined on a case-by-case basis, because with more complexity comes more work and more cost. But there are different levels of there's always things we can do depending on what the person wants.
Okay. Thank you for that information. Just giving a little bit more insight in regards to the asset protection things. Join us now on the Splash Live. Attorney for the Glick Law Firm, Eric Glick Esquire. Just talking about new business laws, power of attorneys, probates, things of that nature, and even news of the Corporate Transparency Act. Now, you kind of gave me a little bit of information regarding this. Can you just tell us a little bit more of what you know? I know we don't know too much as of right now, but it's just in effect as of this year. Tell us what you know about this so far, if you can.
Well, the Corporate Transparency Act is a federal law really designed to keep people out of, money laundering type of activities. And it creates a federal database. So small businesses have to be registered and the owners have to be registered. There's been some lawsuits over it, but right now it's effective. They started taking information as of January of this year. If you've got a company that was created to do business before January 1st of this year, you have until January 1st, 2025 to enter your information in this database. If the company was created to do business after January of this year, but before January of next year, you've got 90 days from when the company is formed. And if the company was created after January 1st of next year of 2025, they got 30 days. So what you've got to report, and this applies to most businesses, most Michigan corporations and LLCs, there's 23 exemptions, but they're like for government authorities, for banks, for credit unions. Most small businesses are going to have to register. And so you're going to have to register who the beneficial owner is. So that's one who has substantial control over the company, or who owns at least 25% of the company. So that's most people. And then depending on when you file, you may have to list who the organizer of the company is. So in Michigan, when you file your articles of incorporation for a corporation or articles of organization for an LLC, someone's got to sign as the organizer or the incorporator. So that's what they're looking for. So they're looking for names, addresses, driver's license number. So they're creating a federal database. It's pretty scary stuff. And also there's pretty hefty fines. There's fines of $500 a day for not updating this database. And the maximum penalty can be a couple years in jail and can be a $10,000 fine. So, the word really isn't getting out. There's so many business owners. I can't even tell you how many small businesses there are registered in Michigan. And I don't see the word getting out about needing to do this.
Yeah,
So hopefully we're getting the word out.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. This is why we have this platform to kind of share that information. I know we don't know too much about it. Maybe we'll have you on a little bit later to kind of revisit that. But we want to thank you again, Eric Glick, Esquire, from the Eric Glick law firm. Just talking about business probates, power of attorney and things of that nature. Anything else, important information for business owners in Kego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, West Bloomfield that you believe they should know? Any additional information before we let you go, please?
Well, that's the big one, is the Corporate Transparency Act. That's the big new development. But I will share with you, maybe as a little teaser for next time, but Michigan has adopted the Uniform Power of Attorney Act. So as of July 1st of this year, Michigan has adopted this law. So now it's joining 30 other states and the District of Columbia to use this, to adopt this Uniform Power of Attorney Act, which is going to replace the old power of attorney laws. So prior powers of attorney that we use for estate planning are grandfathered in, but people want to know what the new law is about and when it takes effect.
Interesting. Okay, I can't wait to have you back on to talk a little bit more about that. But I know you're a busy man. I want to thank you so much for your time again. We want to thank you, Eric Glick, attorney for the Glick Law Firm, talking about new business laws, probates, power of attorneys in Michigan. Thank you again so much. We appreciate it.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely, Tyler. Yeah, I'm telling you, so much more that we can dive into and explore with a professional like that, and talking about the overall future and just establishing businesses and protecting your assets, especially here in the greater West Bloomfield community, where we have a lot of family-owned businesses and just people, seniors that own businesses also. Very important, Tyler.
Yeah, really important that we have that planning in place for our business, both for now and in the future, and especially for our families when, things can happen and we have to make some big decisions or tough decisions, and you have to make sure you have that information in place that makes that a smooth process when time is of the essence. Planning always is important. If you're planning for some fun in the greater West Bloomfield community over the next couple days, Wednesday is a big day in greater West Bloomfield. A best-selling author is on their way to the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. New York Times best-selling historical fiction author Melanie Benjamin will be at the main library at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, talking about many of her works, signing books, and Truly Books will also be there with copies for purchase as well. You can register for the event, and you do need to do so by following along with the library on their Facebook page at West Bloom LIB. There's plenty of space left. I just checked before the show. Plenty of spots left to register to attend this event. Learn more on WBLIB.org or on the West Bloomfield Library's Facebook page. Again, that's West Bloom LIB. If games are more of your speed as opposed to books, the perfect place for you to go is the Sylvan Lake Community Center. Not only are they going to have fun games, they'll have some pizza beforehand. Also, Earth, Wood, and Fire pizza truck will be on site at the community center from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. before Sylvan Lake Game Night, which will feature mahjong, other card games, and their monthly euchre tournament is also going on Wednesday night. That all begins at the community center at 6:30 p.m. You can learn more information on sylvanlake.org or by getting in contact with Amy Decatur to register for the euchre tournament. Again, a great place to go for that is also joining the Sylvan Lake What's Going On Facebook group or the Spirit of Sylvan Facebook group for more fun across the prettiest little city in Michigan. Kevin, that's all the fun we have for today's edition of the Splash Live. We got to get going. Thank everybody for joining us and encourage you to stay with us on CivicCenterTV.com, on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, and YouTube at Civic Center TV. For our entire team at Master Control, Jake Schaff and Calvin Brown, alongside Kevin McIntosh, I'm Tyler Kieft. Thanks for tuning in to the Splash Live.